Hello, my name is Spencer Paternoster and this is my presentation on hedonism. So hedonism originated from ancient Greeks, specifically a dude named Epicurus really pushed for it. It was originally a philosophy that pleasure is the highest aim in life and that pain should be avoided. Eventually it was integrated into psychology to explain stuff such as behavior and emotion. During this week's reading, four main people were influenced by hedonism in their views on psychology. Those four people were Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Jeremy Bentham, and Alexander Bain. So Thomas Hobbes believed that human behavior could be explained through a hedonistic theory of motivation. He said there was an appetite and aversion. So an appetite was defined as the want for pleasurable experiences, whereas aversion was the avoidance of painful experience. So when something was pleasurable, a human would behave in such a way that would have the experience continue, whereas if something was a painful, the human behavior would stop occurring. John Locke used hedonism to explain his theories of emotion. He said that emotions could be classified as either pleasure or pain, and he claimed that pleasure was good, whereas pain was evil, so he put a bit of a moral twist on it. He said the greatest good a person could do was the ability to think pleasurable thoughts. Jeremy Bentham was a spokesman for hedonism in a political and ethical sense. He rejected all current views regarding politics and ethics except for hedonism. He is said to be the first person to have applied hedonism to society, and he's also famous for saying, "Nature has placed mankind under the governance of two sovereign masters, pain and pleasure. It is for them alone to point out what we ought to do, as well as to determine what we shall do. On the one hand, the standard of right and wrong, on the other the chain of causes and effects are fastened to their throne. They govern us in all we do, and all we say, and all we think. Every effort we can make to throw off their subjection will serve but to demonstrate and confirm it." And he also he used hedonistic calculus to determine which option was right in ethics. So he said if something was more pleasurable and less painful, then that was ethically more moral than something that is more painful and less pleasurable. The final person was Alexander Bain. He used hedonism as a way to analyze human behavior and to explain voluntary behavior. So he said voluntary behavior is made up of spontaneous behavior and hedonism. And he explained this by observing the lamb when it was first born. So when the lamb was first born, it kind of wandered around until and acted in such ways, and depending on how it acted and whether it was pleasurable or painful, it became a voluntary behavior. So for example, the lamb would start to feed off the mother, and it would continue to feed off the mother because it was a pleasurable experience for the lamb. And that is the end of my presentation.